Hey, so I'm back again because, surprise, I'm pregnant again. Yes, I needed to get rolling on these vlogs. I've been putting them off because I wasn't quite sure how far along I am. I could be anywhere from 13 weeks to 9 or 8 because I've been nursing Lorelai still. My periods have been crazy. And the last period I had was around September 22nd. And it was really bad when it lasted like 2 weeks. It was pretty heavy. So, then I didn't get one. And I'm not sure if I missed that next period because I was pregnant or just because I was nursing and just happened to ovulate without a period and got pregnant. So I don't know. So the thing is though, around November 10th, I took a pregnancy test because I was about to go in and get birth control, and the test came back negative. Definitely negative. And so I got birth control, but I thought, because we had fooled around without protection, so I thought perhaps I was pregnant. So I decided to wait to take birth control and take another pregnancy test in 2 weeks. So exactly 2 weeks after that, on November 24th, I took another pregnancy test and it was definitely positive. Like, instantly, really quickly, really dark, bright, positively lines. So I started saying I was around 5 weeks then, but I could have been farther along. I could have been, 6, 7, 8 weeks. And that was a really stressful week anyway because Cedric had a tooth pulled. He was having a lot of toothaches for like a month. So he finally went in and had that pulled, and that caused a lot of problems like for a couple weeks afterward. He was really upset and sore. And I got into like a fit that I get into sometimes where I'm like really impatient and just anxious, and I wanted to trim my hair, and it was really long. I don't know if I have any vlogs or anything that showed how long it was, but it was almost to my butt. And so I just wanted to give it a trim, and I started hacking at it, and it got really short. So I had to go in and get it professionally fixed. So I like it now though. It's manageable and stylable, and it's not too terribly short. So yeah, anyways, that week was pretty crazy. And then we had an assembly, and at the assembly, Cedric couldn't make the assembly, so I went with my friends Brittany and Jonathan, and after the assembly during dinner, I'm at the one end of the table of a whole bunch of people, and my friend Brooke and Brittany were just talking with me, and we were kind of quiet. And we got into the subject of accidental pregnancies. And mind you, I had just found out like 2 days ago. And we got into the subject of accidentally getting pregnant. And one of them brought up the fact that you had to be a complete moron to accidentally get pregnant. I mean, only idiots can accidentally get pregnant. I mean, you had to be completely stupid to do that. And I was just like, oh God. And I'm trying to like not make eye contact. And I'm like, yeah, you have to be really dumb. And so it kind of just kept going, and I was thinking, oh God. And so I guess my face gave it away because they kind of both looked at me at the same time, and they're like, oh, Brittany. And I'm like, yeah, you can call me a moron. And so they found out, and I didn't even want to tell anybody yet because I had a miscarriage before Lorelai and just wanted to make sure everything was fine with the baby. And we had told people that we were done having kids, and I didn't want everybody going, oh, it was an accident baby, because I was still trying to adjust to the thought of it myself, and I didn't want anybody else going, oh, you poor thing, you didn't want more kids. And so yeah, when I told Cedric that I was pregnant, I actually was crying. I'm like, I'm pregnant. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm sorry. He was fine. He was like, oh, it's great. It's fine. It's okay. And I'm like, you're sure? And yeah, so yeah, we have a little surprise on the way. And we're going to keep it a surprise. It's going to be a surprise all the way around, this baby. We're not finding out the gender. And so that's going to be really fun to just go through all that work of labor to open the ultimate present of knowing who your baby is. We already have a boy and a girl, so it won't make any difference preparation-wise to find out what this baby is, because we have plenty of pink and blue and neutral, so plenty of toys in both genders, so baby will be well stocked. The next week after I found out, I was starting to get really strong symptoms. Actually, before I even found out I was having symptoms, because I was still nursing, and Lorelai wouldn't like let go. She wouldn't unlatch, but she'd still like be sucking. But she would be like writhing and wriggling and turning and groaning and because she didn't like the taste of the milk, I guess. And so that was odd, and I should have come to the conclusion I was pregnant. And also, my nipples were a lot more sensitive when she would nurse, and it was really hurting, like when you first start breastfeeding, it was hurting. And so I was thinking, man, I guess, she's been chewing on me because she's got, teeth now. And so I just didn't think, sensitive boobs and pregnancy symptoms. So I was actually having that before, like a couple weeks or a week or a couple weeks before I found out I was pregnant. It's winter, so in the cold it gets even worse, and they're like, ding, and ah! It hurts. And yeah, they're very sensitive. So moving on from that, in the approximately 5th week, also I was very sensitive to smells. Lots of smells were making me sick, like the smells that didn't usually, like diapers and foods and stuff, were just making me too nauseous, and perfumes. And I would get like nauseous and have a headache. And then almost immediately after I found out, I was having the round ligament pain and the pulling and the tugging, and almost like an ovarian cyst kind of pain, where it's like I couldn't stretch a certain way because it would hurt. And it was usually on my right side, which is usually where I get any pains associated with PMS or anything like that anyway. And it would go down into my thighs, so that's normal for me. That's where I hurt. So I was getting a lot of that, and I was having some morning sickness. It wasn't constant, but if I didn't eat regularly, it was very rampant. And so I would have to keep eating, but I also had like no interest in food, and nothing sounded good, and just about the thought of anything would make me just want to throw up. And it was only when I went long enough to where I would be like very ravenous, like my stomach would actually be like trying to eat itself, and I would start getting shaky, and it would come on like that. It'd be like, 5 minutes later from being like, ugh, food, gross, and then 5 minutes later it's like, I'm starving. And I was peeing a lot, even before I found out, which should have been another ding-dong clue. And also my nails have been growing really fast, which always happens to me during pregnancy, so that's been nice. I just need to keep myself from chewing on them. So yeah, the next week, all the same symptoms, the urination and the groin pains and the food aversions were all still there, but I'd still be like starving. But then that's when exhaustion kicked in, was in about the 6th week, what I'm calling the 6th week, because I don't know. exhaustion was just like, boom, all of a sudden there. Just knocked me off my feet, and I would have to have a nap every day. That's kind of tapered off. It's been almost a month, so I think I'm about 10 weeks. I think I'm, by my calculations, I'm going to turn 10 weeks tomorrow. The exhaustion comes and goes. I still like to sleep in the morning, and that's not like me, and sometimes need a nap. So that's still there. I'm just working extra hard. And I feel like I'm feeding 3 because, you know, I have to eat for myself, and Lorelai is still nursing, and I'm pregnant, so I've been working for 3. Started getting mood swings in week 6, so I was getting kind of emotional, and just like the thought of having a baby would like make me cry and all excited and happy, and you know, I get like tense and frustrated easily and stuff like that. So that really kicked in around the 6th week. Pretty much the symptoms have stayed the same. I think the nausea is getting a little worse each week, actually. Just the more different foods and the more foods I eat, the more gross everything sounds and the less options I have. So the less I eat, so the more I feel sick. So that's not helping, because I don't know, everything sounds gross and I should eat, but I don't. Right now I'm in a cheese kick, and any kind of cheese sounds really good. So I have those little Baby Bells, and I got some string cheese, and I just had a grilled cheese, and that was the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life. And it's a really cold, rainy day, so it was perfect. So as far as like any cravings have gone, I have had a lot of cravings ever since, you know, finding out. Everything from beef jerky to like salty crackers and like chips and nuts. I did have some craving for peanut butter, which is not like me. I don't like peanut butter. And I had the same thing with when I was pregnant with Gideon. I had a strange craving for peanut butter, and actually started finishing off my husband's peanut butter cups, and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" I don't really have that anymore right now, that craving. I think of what else I've been craving. Milkshakes, and like, you know, I've been craving a lot of healthy food too. Like, not like ice cream milkshakes, but like milk and yogurt and bananas, and I put cereal in there for that malty flavor, and milk. I'm into a dairy thing, I guess. I have given Cedric strict instructions not to feed me or fetch me junk anymore, and he's been pretty good so far. I told him to like get substitutes, like when I'm craving a chocolate milkshake or something chocolatey bad for you, to bring me like a chocolate yogurt, you know, or like those chocolate calcium chews or something with some substance to it, something not just empty calories. And he's been pretty good lately, so I'd be like, "Cedric, bring home jerky," and he's like, "No," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he'll bring home something healthy, you know, so he's a very good husband, and he's been very attentive. Yesterday he actually came home from work, and I texted him that I was feeling very sick and very clumsy that day, and very tired and very hungry, and I still had to cook breakfast. And so he comes home, and I was about to start making breakfast, and he took over for me, and he made me some scrambled eggs and toast for me and the kids. And so that was really sweet and wonderful of him, and I just love him so much. And I'm going to start to cry now because he's just such a great husband. And then he came home from work and helped me make dinner, and we had homemade hamburgers. And I really wanted them, and I had been wanting them, but the thought of touching the gross meat just made me ill, so he did that for me. He like mushed it up and blended it, and then shaped them. And he had this idea where he put cheese inside the burger, so he enjoyed doing that. And they turned out really good, and not too you know, drippy and disgusting and gross and greasy. So that was a nice dinner. I don't think I'll be eating it again soon because, you know, every time I eat something I get turned off from it.